Good morning, everybody. I'm Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Maria.
And this is A Country Life. Today, I'm going to share a day in the life video with you. So, it is 20 to 9 right now. It's been a really good day already. I mean, we're just getting things done, like our general morning jobs that we all do. Everyone kind of has like a small list of things that they do before we start school. And we try to start at 8:30. I mean, that's kind of hit or miss, but the goal is always to basically get up, get moving for our day. I had a pretty good conversation about taxes with Sam. He's working full-time, and so of course he's seeing the dollars just get drained away off of his paycheck, and so we talked about taxes today. That is spy. Who was a spy for the colonies? And right now I have Maria next to me, and we are going to start working on her history. Francesco Vigo.
The spy.
So she's working from the Seton books. This is History 3 for Young Catholics, and it pretty much is American history. So it looks like right now we are going to be working on, that appears to be George Washington, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like we're going to be working on the Revolutionary War time. So there's questions at the end of the chapter as well as map study skills. And I've taught her one thing to do is to read over the questions first, so you kind of know the important things that you're listening for, because I always read the chapter to her. And it also gives a list.
It's words to remember, and then like what they mean, places to remember, like where they are, and people to remember, and like what they did.
And so she always reads over that to see if that helps her answer questions. And then once she does that, then I read her the chapter, and then she does the remaining questions. Peter's next to me here. He already caught a muskrat this morning. That was awesome. Getting rid of those diggers before they cause problems for Dad, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and he's working on presidents, this president sticker book. I can't really even link to this exact one because this book is so old, and finally this year I found it in my closet of homeschool stuff, and I was like, Peter, why don't you work through the president book? So he's doing that, which actually now is working out really well, because in our homeschool co-op he's taking a class. What's it called?
Land of Providence.
And so they are studying right now the early presidents, the signers of the Declaration of Independence, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's actually, a lot of this is coming in handy because he's already done all those early presidents, and so a lot of those names are familiar with him, and he's just getting like even more enrichment from homeschool co-op, which is a great thing.
Washington.
Yep. After he does that, he's going to work on reading 5 for Young Catholics, thinking skills. And this book is basically a whole story of St. Teresa's life, St. Teresa of Lisieux, and he has to answer questions based on the reading. It also teaches him all about Venn diagrams and things like that. And Sam got a new shirt.
Oh.
It looks like Sam got a new shirt.
Says
Skills. What does that say?
Can't read upside down, sorry. Skills USA, support our trades.
Support the trades.
Yep.
That's a cool shirt. I like it.
Thank you.
I really like it. He's going in for a haircut tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to look different. I'm not even telling anyone what I'm doing, because it's going to be a big change.
Really?
It's a big change.
Big change.
I'm-
Are you going with a flat top?
No, I'm keeping mullet,
Okay.
but it's going to be crazy.
Okay. All right. Well, did you come out here to tell us something or just to get on camera?
No, I want to ask you a question.
Oh, okay. I'll turn off the camera. Okay, we're still working on schoolwork. At least Peter and Maria are right now. And I want to do a load of laundry. So Sam actually threw in his laundry this morning. So I'm going to transfer his laundry over to the dryer for him. I know he's going to appreciate that. And I don't want it sitting in the washing machine all day, getting stinky. And I'm going to go back and check on Joe. And I'm going to get him collecting all of the dirty laundry, if he hasn't done that already. If he hasn't done it already, I'm going to make him do it. And then I'm going to do a load of laundry. I wanted to just show you all, and I don't think I mentioned this before. I mean, maybe I mentioned it in a video. Anyway, Warren and I were shopping together, and he had mentioned that we were out of dryer sheets. I was like, I just really haven't been using dryer sheets in quite a while. Sam really was the only one, and he didn't seem to care that we were out for a while. Anyway, Warren was doing laundry when my shoulder, my calcific tendonitis, had flared up. He was like, we're out of dryer sheets, and he just thought that we absolutely needed them. So I said, you just pick out whatever you want, because it doesn't matter to me. And he picked these out, and I was kind of like, that seemed like an odd option, free and delicate. Like, what's the point if it's not going to add a nice smell to our clothes? What's the point in even using it? But I have to tell you, there is something about these that I absolutely love. And I've told him already multiple times that he picked out the best dryer sheets ever. It's like they don't add, I mean, these don't smell. I mean, not really. They don't really have any kind of detectable odor to them. But when you open up the dryer, I just love the way the clothes smell. I can't believe it. You have a conclusion?
Maybe when they're just in the box, they don't smell like anything. But then once they get in the dryer and they're like moving around and like get that stuff, maybe like the scent comes out of it.
Yeah, you could be right. I don't know. Whatever it is, I love the way the clothes smell when they come out. They just smell very fresh and clean. All right, it's been a long time since we've snuck up on Joe. Hey, Joe, what are you doing? Oh my goodness, I don't know what that was you were listening to. So you're just hanging out back here coloring?
Yes, sir.
You making raindrops?
No.
What are you making?
Rocks.
Rocks, okay. I'm gonna need you to collect dirty laundry.
Okay.
Okay? So, and then as soon as you're done collecting dirty laundry, can you look at me when I talk to you, please? Thank you. When you're done collecting dirty laundry, you're going to get yourself a glass of water, and we're going to meet at the table, and we're going to start on Mrs. Brown's schoolhouse. You know what it is.
I can't.
You can't?
I can't.
I'll walk you through it.
I can't.
Okay, I also just realized that I didn't make my bed this morning. So I'm going to do that also quickly, because that keeps me back in this part of the house, and I can make sure that Joe starts collecting the laundry like he's supposed to. All right, just making my bed. I think I'm going to try to talk Warren into later. So we have a date night planned for tonight. We're going out to dinner for fish fry, and then we're going to head up to Wausau to go see some comedy. But I think I'm going to see if I can get him to stop someplace where we can get a new set of sheets. Our sheets, it's like all of the elastic has stretched out, and the sheets are constantly sliding off. And I think in my favor of getting new sheets is that Warren this morning was like, oh, I woke up a couple times last night because the sheets weren't even attached to the bed anywhere. So I was like, ooh, that's my in. That means let's go get a new set of sheets. So I'm hoping that we'll have time in our evening. I hope that we can build in enough time to be able to do that. All right, so Joe and I are here, and we're going to work on his So Happy to Learn. This is like Mrs. Brown's schoolhouse, or I'm not exactly sure if that's what it's called. But anyway, it's a curriculum that I've been using for Joe for a little bit. What bird did you see? Come here, I have no idea what it is. Okay, Peter just saw a new bird. Is it still there? Brown and speckled? Is it a sparrow sized? Oh, did it just go? That could have been a fox sparrow. It could have been...
Here, let me...
Yeah, I think it was a fox sparrow. Okay, I really have to get back. You look through the bird book, Peter, and let us know what you think, okay? So Happy to Learn is a curriculum that you can buy a subscription to for the year, and Mrs. Brown is a teacher. She actually teaches only students with Down syndrome from her home, wherever it is that she lives, but she also puts her program out there for other families to use. So I've been using this with Joe for a while now, and it's a little different. One of her main things is teach, don't test. So you know when you're looking at a word and you say it and then you say, now what does that say? Okay, can you say it again? That's kind of called testing in her book and not teaching. Teaching is just going about the work, showing, reading to them, and letting them gradually pick up on it rather than, okay, now you tell me what this says. Now you tell me. I don't even know if I'm explaining it quite right. You'd have to go and watch some of her videos to see how she explains it better. But anyway, we've been using it, and I think it works pretty well. Joe seems to be responding fairly well to it. I mean, as well as any schoolwork is. Well, let's make this happen. He's already like, I've had enough of this. Okay, while he is drinking water and getting himself focused and everything, I saw my nails pop up here on the screen. I'm pretty sure it was Mary who asked me this question. She said, I noticed your nails. I noticed how nice your manicure was staying. What is the trick? Because you had it like this before even going to Florida. And the trick here is that I went in and I had dip polish done. I had a dip manicure. Yeah, I really do love it. I love that it keeps my own personal nails very strong, and they pretty much don't break off because this dip is so thick and hard. I'm actually going to go in later today and have it redone. Just a second, Joe. I know we're going to get to that in a minute, but now Peter thinks he knows the bird. Oh, it's not focusing. That one right there. Now, are you sure it had this really long, pointy beak?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
It's either that one or that one.
Okay, and this one has a white eyebrow. Do you see that? How this one has a white eyebrow?
Yeah,
and this one. And this one has what they call like a chestnut eyebrow.
It was this one.
You think it was that one, a northern water thrush. I do believe that we've had that around here before. So I wouldn't be surprised if we could get some coming through. You're all done with that book? Great. So now in the animals. Okay.
Darker line. Squirrels have a
Bushy.
Left to help them
Balance.
balance. Number 2. Grass. Squirrels.
So, you guys noticed that there were some words that Joe misread. You're going to hold the camera now?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are definitely words that he misread or words that he stopped and said, I don't know.
Great.
And so with the Mrs. Brown technique, you are not to correct the child if they say a word different, like the word acorns, he was saying orange. So now the idea of teach, don't test is that I'm going to come through now and I'm going to tap this out and read this to him, and he's going to follow along.
Hey Mom,
And then he's going to notice.
my dropping my glass, my camera.
You don't want to drop the camera. And then he's going to notice as I tap out words that there were there are some words that he misread. So anyway, that's the theory, and we're going with it. And we're going to give it a try for a while, and at least to the end of this school year for sure, and see how that all goes. So good. So with the Mrs. Brown's curriculum, she has all of these sort of like art pages, I guess she calls them, art cards, I think. And what you do is you utilize the back sides of the Happy Sheets, which is the workbook that goes with the different storybooks that they read from. And you use this for really any number of things. You can have them work on their name, you can have them do art cards, they can work on math, work on writing some different letters of the alphabet, whatever it is that you think they would benefit from that day. And one of the things I know that Joe has been enjoying, and he's getting so much better at it over the weeks here, is copying the art cards. So she has very simple artwork. They have a opportunity to copy it on the back. They can add color. Are you going to add any color to this with your crayons?
Green a little.
On this page, I left a blank and I had him fill in the blank. This page, he was copying the food art card. This page, he also copied the food art card, and I had him do his favorite food,
Muffin.
a muffin. Here is where I
Pizza,
showed
ice
him how to
cream.
copy the art card, and then
Pizza,
he
muffin.
did the art card.
Apple.
So anyway, happy sheets. They're like little worksheets, and they also have adult happy sheets. So I just sit right here next to him, and I do my growing up happy sheets, which is usually writing about your goals and your dreams. Right? She'll give a quote maybe, and you write what you think it means to you. Anyway, I read him my happy sheets when I'm done, and he reads me his happy sheets when he's all done. I just came out here to get this load of wash going. I like to give, whoops, sorry about that. Laundry got stuck on my camera here. I like to give Joe time without me just kind of hovering right there to work on his happy sheets so that he doesn't feel pressured like I'm trying to make him get them done fast. So what I do is sometimes I tell him, I'm gonna go do a load of laundry, and then when you're done with this page, you come and show it to me so that you can show me all the hard work that you did on that page. And then that way, I feel like it gives him a little bit of kind of responsibility, and it makes it that he has to kind of train himself, work on himself to make sure that he sits there and actually works on it and doesn't sneak off, because sometimes that can be a problem. I was just out working on packaging up cookbooks and what else? Block it out, notepads, and also a spatula. So anyway, Peter was in here making cookies, and I have to tell you guys, I'm gonna say it out loud, Peter, these cookies are better than my cookies. They're so good. So good. I don't know. He got them so perfectly round. They have the perfect little like shine to the top. They're very,
and that
very
little
good.
crackle.
The little crackle. They're perfect. Whatever you did, keep doing it.
What I did differently
Yeah.
is when I put the eggs in, I usually don't mix the eggs until it's creamy. This time I mixed them till it's creamy. Like when the eggs put it in,
Yeah.
like it's like more, it's more smooth than
Okay.
a little bit than clumpy.
Okay. Awesome. Well, they're really good. I mean, the cookies that you and I made the other night were good too.
Yeah.
They're
I
gone.
got like chocolate all over her lips.
I think you've been having a cookie or two.
Maybe.
So I'm over here making grilled cheese, but Joe obviously was hungrier than as fast as I could get the food done. That doesn't make sense, but you guys all know what I mean. He was
He's
so hungry he
having a-
couldn't wait.
He's having a peanut butter and butter sandwich.
He just made himself his own lunch, which is exactly the goal in life, right? Is for everybody to make their own lunch, so Mom doesn't have to make lunch. I love making supper,
That's the goal.
but I don't like making lunch. And here's the grilled cheese. Not quite ready. All right, well, we are getting ready to go to the library and to the post office, but the kids are just on a mad dash looking for the last couple Leprechaun books that they had checked out. And I thought I would just give a little shout out here. I've got shipments going out to Teresa in, I'll tell your state, Ohio, Brenda in Georgia, Mary in Wisconsin, and Johanna in Michigan. And we're also on our way, we're going to listen to Anne of Avonlea. So I read Anne of Green Gables first, and now somehow we don't have book 2 of the whole series. I don't know what happened to that one. So we've been listening to it using the Libby app. And I believe Libby app is nationwide. Check it out. You link your library card to it, and you can check out all kinds of, well, you can check out all kinds of things, books, I think even magazines and things, but my favorite are the audiobooks. We use the audiobooks all the time. Prairie Lotus, definitely listen to that. What else definitely listen to?
White bird.
White Bird. Is it The White Bird or just White Bird?
White bird.
That was, yeah, that was so good. So many good ones. Okay, anyway. Oh, the Railway Children. Super.
Children.
Boxcar Children. Okay, so there's just so many good ones, especially if you like juvenile literature, which I happen to love. Does that make me a little kid? I don't know. All right, well, I went with the gel. Never done this before, and I went with the French tip. if that's what they call it still. And yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I do see there's just a little bit of white right there, but that'll actually wear off. So we'll see how long this holds up for. So that last dip, I actually got almost 4 weeks. It was about 3 days shy of 4 weeks out of that one. I'm not sure if I need sunglasses or no sunglasses. It's kind of like in between.
It's kind of bright.
It is a little bit bright. Yeah, I don't know. We are on our way. I guess we can say exactly where we're going, right? I don't mind. This doesn't post for a while. We are on our way up to Point. We're going to go, Stevens Point, we're going to go to a restaurant called the Point After. It's like a bar and grill, going there for a fish fry, or maybe a shrimp fry.
Not sure.
Not sure. Depends on how Florida we feel when we get there.
Well, I'm not feeling real Florida right now.
But it is really nice. It's sunny. It's 46 degrees. We just stopped at Tractor Supply to pick up something.
Some parts for a machine I'm working on.
Okay, so parts. And I thought that we would just spend a couple minutes here responding to some comments. And this was the first one that popped up, and it's actually a question. So I thought that we would address this one. So Dawn asks, this is a pretty deep question actually.
Okay.
She says, were you scared to have more children? This is on the World Down Syndrome Day video. After my child with disabilities, I cried when I got pregnant again. I was worried and felt guilty. I have a close friend whose faith has been shaken by this challenge. What would you tell a new mom going through this? Ooh, that's big. Boy, I don't know.
You know, I don't think I was scared to have more children.
I'm trying to think. Honestly, I don't think I was scared. I remember wanting to have more children. I didn't want Joseph to be our last child. And I don't remember if you felt that, but I really felt that.
Well, I remember you saying that, you know, it would be helpful for the family if Joseph wasn't the last child, because there would be other siblings there to be available to help him.
Right.
And I thought that was a good idea, and honestly, all of our children have been such blessings, and you know, I don't regret any of them.
Yeah.
And I also think growing up with a special needs brother,
right,
I wasn't scared of dealing with special needs,
right,
because I had done it since I was 11 years old.
I was very scared.
Yeah, it wasn't. And Joseph has been, I mean, he has his days, but he's been so much fun, and such a good kid that, no, I can truly say I was not scared to have more kids.
I wasn't either.
I just thought that we would deal with it as it came to us.
Right. And, you know, I guess this makes me think about something. So we have some friends that a number of years after Joseph was born, they found out that they were having a child with Down syndrome. And I remember when she was going through that time period where you're scared and you're worried and you just don't know what's to come, I said, you know what? You're going to give birth to a baby boy. And that's what he's going to be, as a baby boy. And he's not even going to have, probably not going to have all of the issues that you're already afraid of or scared about. He's not going to have any of those things as a baby boy. You're just going to treat him like you did all your other babies. You're going to feed him, and you're going to nurture him, and you're going to change his diaper, and you're going to do all the things. And it's just gradually, little by little, the things that come with, I guess, the disability start to come. You know, right at the very beginning, those things aren't...
It's not a big deal.
They're not huge. And the question, I mean, we kind of went back and forth on answering the question. The question really asks, you know, what advice would we have to new parents going through that? I guess my advice is, I don't think there's anything wrong with going through all those emotions.
No, it's normal. I mean, you're going to be scared. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
But,
really,
you know, life is not predictable.
Yeah.
And you're going to find as much joy as you know, probably more joy than you do find bad days.
Yeah.
So
this question is probably more for me. I mean, if you have something to add, you feel free, but wait till you hear the question. So this is from Kathy, and she says, I've never had much luck freezing bread. I am wondering what your tips, tricks are for freezing and thawing the bread you purchased. Do you do anything special so it won't be dry and crumbly? Thanks for sharing some of your day with us. You're welcome, Kathy.
I have no idea.
I never find that the bread actually dries out and gets dry and crumbly. It's quite the opposite. Sometimes it gets a little bit soggy. I would say that would be more the issue.
Well, I think what happens is honestly,
Oh, he's got something to say about this.
No, I don't. Nope.
So, yeah, I haven't, and I do nothing special. The bread comes home, I put it in, we have what we call the bread freezer. It's just the second freezer out in our garage. And I just stack it all in there, and then I do try to I put the new stuff to the right so I can pull from the left. That's just in my mind. I don't know if anyone else in the family knows that, but when I pull from the left, which would be like the oldest bread. And then I just thought on the counter, that's usually the best. If I have to thaw it a little bit in the microwave, it does sometimes get a little damp. But I have not had the trouble of it getting dry and crumbly. And that's just like Aldi bread, really, or even bakery bread that I buy off of the markdown rack. So there is a couple comments from Deb, and then also from Rachel, who is Deb's daughter. She tells me that the broccoli cauliflower soup, in her opinion, is addictively delicious. And remember when you ate that soup and you were actually quite surprised how good that soup was.
It really was good. I do not like cauliflower at all. But
No way, shape, or form.
I told myself it was broccoli, and I ate it in the soup, and it was good.
And it was good. So if I remember, I'll link that video in the description box below so you guys can go over and see how I made that. It was so simple. Just saute up some vegetables, make a roux, add the broccoli and cauliflower, add some cheese at the end. Oh, and milk. It was so simple, such simple ingredients, but it was delicious. So thank you, Deb and Rachel, for commenting on that soup, because it reminds me I need to make it again. So there was a question. I cannot find the comment again, though. Maybe I responded to it, and if I responded to it, then it doesn't show up in my list of comments any longer. The person had asked a question that we get asked all the time. Do you want to guess what that question is?
Cranberries grow in the water?
Oh, no, not that. Do any of your kids
Want to take over the marsh?
want to take over the marsh? That question comes up so often, and not today.
Well, not yet. I think that, the thing of it is, I wanted the kids to pursue their own dreams, and if I've always held the door open that potentially they could take over the farm, but it would be on their terms, in the sense that they would have to come to that realization on their own. I don't want to push them.
No.
I would love it if one of the kids would take over the farm, but I don't want them to feel like they're forced into it. If none of them want to take over, that's fine. I mean,
Right.
we'll figure something out. The thing of it is too, with farm markets, the markets go up and down, and there were years where they wouldn't have been able to take over the farm because the cranberry market was so poor.
Right.
And
so they've lived that too.
they've lived the ups and downs of the market.
And I think maybe for some of them, maybe that's just not something that they want.
Yeah. And to run the farm effectively, you have to be fully committed at all hours of the day and night, because the farm requires that of you. And
Right.
if you're not willing to be that dedicated, then the farm is not the right path. It can be a very good life, very rewarding, great place to raise kids, but it is a ton of work.
Yeah. It's just a huge commitment. I mean, I just think about even different things. Warren missed Sam's first communion because it was gonna.
Actually, we had gotten a huge rainstorm, and some floating logs floated into my bulkhead.
Yeah.
And I had to scramble, and when
you were in church clothes, and you had to scramble
to get the excavator, which was parked on the other end of the farm, down to that bulkhead and get those bogs dug out of there, because otherwise it could have washed out our whole reservoir dike.
Right.
And I missed the entire first communion service because of that.
Yes.
I think a huge part of it is watching frost.
Yeah.
Because during the summer, when everyone wants to have fun,
Yeah.
you have
Stay
to
out
be,
late because it's
you have to be
light.
on the farm because it's going to freeze. And frost
Yeah.
season goes all the way till about the 20th of June. And then frost season starts back up in August. And in those summer months, you're still irrigating every other day. So you're still committed. It's not like you can get away. Farming is not for everyone.
Although it's been good for us. I mean, we've figured out how it wasn't always easy.
No.
You know.
But we've fit our life around the farm.
We have figured out how to fit our life around the farm. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. So, all right. Well, I think that is going to be the only 3 comments that I respond to from the last, videos. There were lots and lots of comments. Thank you guys, but only a few that had like questions in it. So we're on our way. We're gonna go get a fish fry or a shrimp fry. Go see some comedy tonight, and that's probably going to be it. If I remember, you remind me, I'll show our dinner, just because a lot of times my day in the life videos I always end with like supper time and what we're having. The kids back home are having cheese pizza.